Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we have an NA Friday event. Thank you, Pratly from the Ninth Corps for broadcasting this event. We have two great maps for you. The first one is Piper Farm, followed up by Cook's Countercharge. Cook's Countercharge and Piper Farm, kind of your more open map, so we'll see if we'll get a line battle today. Thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description where you can get behind the scenes footage and videos before everybody else. With that out of the way, our teams for today. On the CSA side, you have 2nd Corps, Mississippi Brigade, 44th Georgia, Pickett's Brigade, and the Shenandoah Regulars. We're on the Union side. You have the Irish Volunteer Brigade, Hood's Division, and the Army of Northern Virginia. With that being said, I hope you enjoy.
Hello everybody, we're here again with another Battleline Network video. Tonight we are covering the Sunday Night Fights Server 2. We're going to be watching two fun maps tonight. Actually, both sides have picked defense maps tonight. So first match here, we are playing Piper Farm as picked by the CSA. Second match, we will be playing on Cook's Countercharge, which is a personal favorite of mine, although it is, I will give, a very biased map. I am Colonel Pratly from the 9th New York, and with me is my second command in the 9th New York, Lieutenant Colonel Brutish.
What is up, guys?
And immediately, really interesting stuff here. The CSA has moved down to the wall on the edge of the cornfield right away.
And USA's flanking them down the road. But I
I
don't think they know they're there.
I can't say I've ever seen CSA move up to this position at the start of the game in my entire life. And the Union is going to go up the left, and if the CSA stays there, the Union might honestly end up being behind them.
I don't think they notice. It seems like it's a mixture of Second Corps and MB.
Well, Tor and Corded are standing on top of the hay bales, and they can certainly see the Union moving from right to left over there. And they can see the flags.
We got a CSA group moving out left. That is, who is this? 44th Georgia. They're trying to contest the wall and kind of hold that left side, which is very important on this map. I feel like if Union gets control of this right side road over here, it's pretty over for the CSA.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's over. I think we've seen USA units get kind of stuck here before.
If not three.
It's true.
But here we go. It's going to be more or less straight into a charge. We have the IVB coming from the left, HD coming straight up the road. The IVB are going to get a full round of shots from the 44th GA into them, but they're going to make it in anyway. Yeah, they're going to. Well, the problem is they were shooting at an extreme oblique, and now the IVB are in and able to shoot across the wall from point blank range, and they are going to take this immediately. The CSA force has not moved off the wall at the cornfield yet.
Yeah, that's a pretty big loss of tickets right there. Pretty much an entire group just wiped off the rim.
Yeah, although interestingly, I didn't see a massive ticket drain there. We do have, oh well, actually a fairly small server tonight, only 162 guys. This is almost back to the old school full servers of 150. We have CSA significantly outnumbering the USA right now, 88 to 74, so it's a 14-man difference, which, you know, in the context of 150 man aside is not too bad. On the context of 88-75, that's a pretty significant difference.
And we gotta look at battery too. We got about 9 players on battery for CSA, and then we got 9 players on battery.
Yeah, 9 for Union as well.
Just gotta keep an eye on that and see if that's effective at all.
USA does fully have this right side. It looks like their entire infantry force has gone this way, and CSA still yet to move off the wall. I don't know what they're doing here right now. They're trying to shoot into the Union spawn. There's no one there.
Yeah, USA has complete hold of the Union right. Seems like they're about to take the battery as well, which they've already taken actually.
I don't know if these guys are in Steam chat, or if they are in Steam chat, maybe they're not listening, because you would have thought they would have readjusted to be actually in a position to defend against that left flank by this time, because now the Union's not even having any fear. They're moving out into the rocks already. They've got no opposition at all. Now the CSA is beginning to move one of their groups off that wall and back towards the barn.
And that group that got wiped at the beginning is moving out back to the left. So it seems like that might be the plan. Kind of move this group behind the barn on the straight rail to see if they can hold them. But Union's moving into the Arty right now.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by the CSA. Surely at this point they hear that fighting behind them, but they're still standing here. And at this point, they have ceded a pretty powerful position to the Union. If the Union is able to get in these caissons without taking any casualties to do it, that's pretty good for them in general. We have HD and AMV elements still back on the road on the stone wall, and up on these, just in front of these rocks here, we have the IVB, and then it looks like the HD skirmishers are out in front of the caissons. Now the CSA has moved some guys back. The MB guys have moved back, but the Second Corps guys, the 6th LA, are still up on the wall.
Yeah, but the entire Union team's on the right. I'm not quite sure what they see up here.
Well, I think they're hoping that maybe the Union force is split and the other group will come from in front, but it's not happening right now. We do have FSB, the 44th GA, and some 14th Brooklyn guys firing from the fence line on the left side of the barn into the flank of those Union guys. But Union doing a nice job right now in terms of dropping CSA tickets slowly but steadily. It's a slow drop, but it is dropping for sure.
Alright, seems like 6LA is finally moving off the stone wall now. Seems like they're readjusting on the straight round. I spoke too soon.
No, they're going
further down the wall.
Yeah, different position on the wall. Very odd positioning from the CSA here. Their artillery starts to shoot. Ah, I see. The Union, have they taken this gun? I think, yeah, Union artillery is taking the guns and rolling them away from the CSA battery back into a position where they want them, while the CSA guns on the right side in the orchard are actually firing at the guns that the Union are stealing.
Very different game that we're seeing than normally played. Yeah, I mean, it's not too terrible for CSA here. They're not too far back on tickets. They give it up a lot of ground, which is, I think, is the worst part of this.
Well, and the problem I see for them as well developing here is that they're coming down towards halfway through battle ready, and the Union hasn't even had to charge and lose any significant amount of men yet.
Yeah. This is purely from shooting.
Yeah, you want on this map to make the Union pay for every inch they take. Like, on this map, you should be able to. That was a nice volley there. Whoever just volleyed the IVB got a bunch of kills.
That was 44th Georgia.
Yeah, that was a good volley into them. But the idea here on this map, you should on Pipers be able to make the Union pay pretty dearly for every inch they take. And if you get into a final push last stand fight on this map, what we often see is the Union getting held up in the corn by the CSA running up to that wall where 6th LA are sitting now. And that can actually be really challenging for the Union to take it in that time crunch. So that's really what the CSA needs to be doing here. But right now, shooting it out in this manner and not doing anything to resist the Union being on these positions other than shooting from static positions yourself is not playing into their hands.
We kind of have a small little line battle with FSB and IVB right now, too.
Yeah, the nice thing for these 44th Georgia guys and the 14th Brooklyn guys is IVB just shot into a fortified position before 44th came out, and 44th got a free volley in return. Because the IVB are shooting at these guys who are kind of behind the ramp to the barn, and they're just not going to hit those guys. There's a stone wall that they're crouching behind, and they are fully covered when they're not firing. These are the 5th VA guys up there. IVB aiming, the 44th is not out in position, and they're trying to time these volleys.
Charge going down, moving on the bar, that's HD moving in.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're going to... Oh, maybe they will. They might drop out the other side of the barn on top of these flags.
Exactly
Oh yeah, look at that. They're going to kill all the flags.
Oh my god.
Beautiful, look at that.
Falling out.
That was gorgeous, and they're gonna fully have this position. They're going to get countercharged, but they have the walls to defend themselves now. Great move by Killer there.
Let's see what 6LA does in response.
And I tell you something, I've been singing Killer's praises today. I was watching the Historical Rules event earlier, and him and Cloud were doing a great job working together there. That was another fantastic move from him. And look at CSA almost down to engage without the Union having to make a serious aggressive maneuver yet. And it's within 35 minutes, which is ahead of schedule to get the CSA down to last stand by the end of the fight.
Well, Union also has the most powerful position on this map, I think, for CSA. This L stone wall behind the hay bales is incredibly powerful for defense.
And the interesting thing right now, the Union's got a couple of skirmishers. It looks like SR and PB sitting back on the fence near their spawn, trading shots with 6th LA, and I think all it's doing
there
for
we go.
them.
Oh,
No, now they're moving up. Yeah, 6th LA are moving up. I was going to say all it's doing is forcing the 6th LA to fire at something that isn't really there. They were thinking there was a line there, but there is now a charge going down. Nice Artie shot.
Nice Artie.
Didn't get a lot of kills, but it knocked down all the back half of the charge, and that's going to really spread out that Union charge. And you can see, as a result, not that many guys managed to make in that charge. And meanwhile, the AMV guys are being charged out from the wall, and I think they're going to lose that as well. And you can see what we're talking about here, that the tickets are relatively even on this match, because look how quick Union went down on tickets there with that one engagement.
Still, though, even with a complete team wipe, CSA is still pretty far behind on tickets, especially as defenders.
Yeah, but you got to think they were half a morale stage behind, and now they're maybe a quarter behind. They caught up big time there.
Yeah, they caught up. You're still really behind.
And there's still some Union Rambos out and about that are being chased down here. We've got a 6th LA, 2nd Lieutenant Bird Power chasing down Moon right now, all the way into an artillery piece.
You might get 2 kills here.
He misses his stab. Artie guy gets a stab in, but the sword is slower than the bayonet, which still doesn't make sense.
Well, you got a lot of Artie guys still with this Rebel Artie that are about to get killed too.
Yeah. Well, they brought up all their guys. They do have infantry support back there. They need that infantry to come up and aid them, or else they're going to lose that position entirely. That officer is just having a field day. Although, as I say that, missing all his shots. He missed again.
Missed another one.
What is happening? And the other officer gets killed.
We saved you.
That was wild. And I think they don't realize HD still has a pretty significant force here, and they're going to start blasting those guys that are coming into the caissons right now. They have them in the open to shoot at. I'm interested. It does look like Union is now going up the cornfield. That's what I was going to say. They haven't retaken the cornfield, and Union's going to go through it. Yeah, which is smart. They've gotten the CSA used to seeing them on the left side now, and so now they go up the center where they're not ready. And they honestly, if they really wanted to, they could go straight up and over and charge this rebel artillery and get out of there unharmed, because the CSA is so heavily engaged with the Union. Look at this charging coming. FSB charging down on HD. They're going to need help there. They definitely don't have the same manpower as HD do.
Yeah, they got reinforcements coming down the road.
Oh, that was really painful for FSB in the end. That's going to really hurt the CSA tickets. They did actually get through HD for the most part, but they're losing a bunch of out of lines at the very end of that charge, which is not going to help.
And the reinforcements came in right behind them. Kind of pointless charge, right?
Let's see, we've now got a more standard engagement. 2nd Corps, 6th LA on top of the hill in the orchard, looking down at Union on the stone wall, exchanging shots from here. This is kind of the fight that you usually see on Piper. That Union artillery nailing the corner of the stone wall right on the hay bales, but no one there, unfortunately. And this is the thing with Union artillery. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can just see on my stream how far back it is. It's a hard set of shots to hit from there.
Yeah, that last shot landed a little short of the orchard.
And Brutish and I are now officially artillery experts, because we played River Crossing as CSA last night and were firing one specific shot over and over again and not moving the guns ever.
Yeah, I got like 8 kills.
Yeah. I got at least 50, easy. As everyone knows, artillery is the most effective kills in the game.
Oh yeah, what's up?
And interesting here, so after the CSA caught up on tickets a fair bit, they've now gone way down again. That charge didn't help them. Those out of lines didn't help them.
Out, I think. At least they're getting to the stone wall, HD is. Or to the right.
Sevi is running up on his own in the orchard right now. I think he's trying to check out what's going on. Oh, that artillery shell landed on the wall and somehow did not kill anyone. Yeah, that CSA artillery shot landed on the IVB and didn't get a kill. Unbelievable. Must have exploded on the wrong side of the wall, I guess.
Now they're moving out. West side of the orchard.
Yeah, HD back in their have their advanced group back in the rocks.
I don't
Rear
think
group on the
anybody
wall.
sees them moving out to the left. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody sees this.
that CSA group went deep in the core. Now HD are seeing it and they're firing at it. And yeah, their line in the road does pull back because they have a much larger force facing off against them. IVB is going up and over in the orchard. They're going up the extreme left. This is good. They're stretching out the CSA defenders pretty well right now.
I don't think anybody knows that IBB's here. Like, look
Well,
at these
the
army guys.
artillery
They're
certainly
acting
do. If they haven't seen him already, they're seeing him now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Oh, they're about to volley the
Why
army.
volley? No, just go charge him. They only killed 2 guys from that volley. And it alerts all the infantry of where they are. 3 guys. They got 3 of them.
MB and I think a mixture of SR and MB are in that stone wall now. They need to get up and over though before they get charged out.
The artillery officer does survive and is just shooting away with his pistol. He's gonna die here though. There's too many guys running at him.
Alright,
He does
they
kill
just run
Sevi
fire.
though. Gets another one. He's still up. And the IVB guys are not charging him. They don't realize he's there. He gets another one. Wow. Captain Howie putting on a clinic here with the officer. Those are great pistol shots. I think actually Howie was the one earlier who missed all his pistol shots when he went to retake the cannons earlier, so kind of getting some redemption for himself here. Looks like FSB made another push forwards and are now being forced into retreat again. And the CSA needs to think carefully about how they approach this now, because being down at taking losses with nearly 30 minutes left to go in the game that's a really tough position to fight back from.
Especially being down half of morale state. As defenders, if you even want to think about winning, you have to be up at least a half of morale state. Being down at all is just it's so hard.
You can be down if you're doing well on time. The problem is they're not doing well on either right now.
Yeah.
This Howie guy is still alive up here. He's just got his sword out and is just hiding in this limbo here, and he's got no one to help him out. I'd love to see that Union artillery hit this wall here. They should, in theory, be able to hit it. There are Rebs standing on it. They could get a pretty good shot on here.
It seems like IVB did have their flag. Now they do. Okay.
Well, they will have lost it in that charge earlier, I imagine.
That's probably why they're holding on this left side before making a push.
Yeah, although I don't know that they need to push. If they can keep just slowly whittling away tickets, you know, especially with the MB guys standing on the fence, they can hit those guys on the fence. So why not just keep shooting it out with them and slowly chipping away at tickets when they're so far ahead?
It seems that's exactly what they're doing. They're all, the entirety of IVB is hiding behind one case.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they aren't spreading out or using any defilade cover at all, but they seem content just to shoot from there right now. And actually, I'm watching shot after shot after shot from them go over the heads of these guys. Every single shot they're taking is going over their heads.
I think that unit artillery was actually aiming on this right side at 6 LA out here. Exploded right above them. No kills, though.
Yeah, I'm just waiting here in this position, hoping that the artillery finally nails a shot over here, but it's been a while and they haven't fired yet, so I'm not sure what they're aiming at exactly. And IVB, I don't know if they're aware of this, but they are coming off far the worst in this engagement here, and you can actually see it in terms of tickets. They've lost a significant amount, and the CSA is still sitting in the same place because the IVB just aren't actually hitting their shots on this fence line. They're shooting over their heads.
It seems like IVB's pulling out, and then if you look on this right side, it seems like we have maybe a little push. I don't know what this flag is. It seems like unit controls Reb Artie. We still got some Union artillery. They're trying to line up some shots.
Yeah, what I'll be interested to see, I mean, the CSA have ceded their control over the middle of the field by moving into this left side from their point of view, right side from the Union. I wonder if the HD guys up in the cannons could charge across and wipe that MB unit that's in the center right now with the help of IVB. Oh!
Oh!
It landed behind him in the end. It actually direct impacted a guy and then direct impacted the flag as well. Direction was right. It just needed a tiny bit shorter fuse.
Oh,
It certainly.
Revs are getting a little. CSA's getting a little aggressive. They're moving back into the hay bales to fire on their own arty.
Yeah,
all these
you know,
Union
and it's a good spot to be for them right now because the Union are all fully engaged on that other side. There was an arty shot from, I guess, CSA just hit Union guys there. Yeah, it was the CSA cannon right on the fence line here. It's just firing across into their own artillery with canister.
That's 58 battery right there. Another shot about to go there.
I'm not sure where exactly. I feel like the CSA just took a sudden, quite big hit on tickets in the last minute or so. I'm not sure where it came from exactly. The Union is dropping down. I would say the CSA are slowly catching up on tickets. It's just a question of whether they can do that before they go to braking. Because once they go to braking, it's going to be really difficult. The Union's just going to cycle charge the point.
Yep. Yeah, maybe just wait on the stone wall now. It seems like they're just waiting. It seems like they might be waiting on this right side to make a push so they can start moving up. I'm not sure.
CSA Artie getting ready to fire again. He does take another shot. That one landed just barely short of the case on that behind. Here comes the charge. Oh, this is not a good charge. It's really strung out. Those guys are going to get wiped. They're going to go braking here, I think.
And I think the rest of the teams are moving in too. This is a really
It's really spread. These are all skirmishing tickets they're losing right now, and you can see how quickly they're going down as a result.
Yeah, that was not good at all.
I would be surprised if we don't see the Union charge now, because the CSA will go down to braking with one good charge. But they do hold. Maybe they're going to try and bring them all the way down to last stand. Just patient play.
What? Well, yeah, you have plenty of time. It's 23 minutes. They're about to hit braking. You have 23 minutes.
That Union artillery shell bounced and landed about 50 feet in the air there.
IBB's now pushing point. It seems like they're going to start pre-capping here.
Yeah, and taking some shots into that artillery position there. Not getting any kills. They are behind the defilade here. I don't know if IVB really has good shots on them.
Oh, Captain Nitro is about to take a shot at him with his cannon.
Too short.
Yep,
Too short.
Slightly too short.
I didn't even know you could get the fuse timer that low. There they go. They're braking. Will the Union charge, or will they just sit here and make the CSA come to them and lose more tickets? CSA is coming in from the far left. They're going to come in here, 6th LA. IVB does see them coming. IVB still on their own right now. The rest of the team is not coming in to join them yet. IVB is for sure going to get wiped here if the rest of the team doesn't get up here. Pretty sharpish, but I'm still seeing guys sitting back on the wall. A lot of the line isn't even moving yet.
I don't really think they have to. I mean, if Union loses this charge, it's not end of the world. You still get a lot of casualties on CSA. If you lose this charge, it's fine.
Look at those tickets for the CSA again. Again, it's just these charges are proving really costly for the CSA because they're not grouped up enough. They're losing too many skirmishing guys in the charge. You can see they lost a full quarter, maybe even a third of a morale stage there.
Yeah,
and now the Union, they're chasing them towards their own cannons, and the Union is just going to shoot all these guys out of line here.
Yep.
They're running all on their own. I don't think they even realize that their team's not with them, but there we go. That lost them 15 tickets there at a minimum.
Yeah, they're below half. They're already below halfway. 21 minutes left.
Yep. And what we'll have to see now, the tickets, the balance did stabilize in the end. We did get even teams. What we'll have to see now is, can the CSA be as ruthlessly efficient on Cooks? Cooks is a fairly easy map for CSA, so we'll see how well they play that.
I assume we'll just see...
Direct impact on the cannon there from that artillery shot from, who was it? It was HD Second Lieutenant Banjo just hit the CSA cannon dead on as it was about to fire at them.
Yeah, I assume we'll just see Union kind of mass in the core of the stone wall and just charge up
About
the
to see some
orchard.
artillery shooting into their own cannons again. Let's see how these hit. There is a big clump for them to shoot at, potentially. Landing short again. It's hitting the caisson in front, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not doing anything.
Oh, that was a good Union artillery shot. It landed in the right kind of place. Unfortunately, didn't really get any kills, but it landed right amongst the hay bales, which is where you want it to be at this stage.
So if you're CSA here, what is your route to either winning this game or making it a lot closer?
I'm not sure there necessarily is one. I think they kind of needed to push the advantage of that charge, get the. That was a good arty shot from the CSA there. They needed to keep the momentum going, kick the Union off the field entirely, and then hold a further advanced position so the Union just didn't get there in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. I think one time Ninth Corps was playing with this map, but we actually lost it as attackers, mainly because of that. Of that, I think it was last stand final push, and they just pushed that stone wall, just prevented us from getting to point at all.
And this is the problem.
I think that's the only way.
This is the problem CSA have now is the HD guys are starting to cap point again. The CSA do have to go and stop them if they don't want to lose right now, and they're going to go last stand the second they get on point.
Yep.
In fact, they'll probably go last stand before. A few skirmishing kills here. They're a little strung out again. They're going in 1s and 2s right now. I would imagine they'll hit last stand with maybe one more casualty, maybe 2. Yep, there it is. And the Union has 19 odd minutes to destroy them. Even if they lose this charge, they're gonna win this game for sure.
Which they will. They're gonna lose this charge, but like you said, it doesn't matter.
HD does now come in with the rest of their force, picking up some kills here and there. It's enough that the Union has weakened the CSA. CSA will get one final wave of respawns from the moment they hit last stand, but I don't think there were that many actually coming back there. I don't think they had enough guys dead at the time. Unfortunately, all of them died after the last stand triggered rather than before. So they only got like 10 guys coming back in there.
See, if you're CSA here, just push up to the stone wall at the core field, just hold there for as long as possible, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. The Union does go breaking.
Not really not much you can do here.
Yeah, and this is what confuses me a little bit, is at the start of the game we saw them wanting to hold that advanced position, and now that it actually makes more sense to do it, they don't want to do it anymore. So the Union is able to just, the Union's able to just get back on there. They're going to take their time, get their kits, shoot it out a little bit, or at least that's what I would do. I mean, I would love to if I was in this position, I would love to shoot it out with them and just try and kill as many as possible before we ever got into the melee.
Well, we got a few CSA moving out to the stone wall. It seems like 6 LA, but I think they're just about to get wiped by IVB here.
Yeah. Yeah, because a few of those IVB guys have finished loading now. Sevi's got his pistol, of course. Those guys go down. And we must be down to, what, 30 men probably on the CSA team. There's not enough to hold it for sure.
Oh yeah, this is it right here. Let's see if they can do one final glorious last stand hold.
Well, that cannon shot actually exploded way too far back, but it went through a whole bunch of guys. I saw a swath of open field behind it.
Yeah, that's it. The Union's gonna win this by this eliminator though, so we have to catch point.
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna wipe the enemy force before they go to breaking, or before they cap it even.
We have Jay from State Farm, still in the hay bales.
There's a few guys who have run back to their own spawn here. There's one guy hiding in the house upstairs here playing Taylor Swift. We've got 6th LA Flatco upstairs playing Taylor Swift to himself in the bathtub upstairs. I'm sad I only caught that at the end. Right at the very end of the game, I found him sitting in the bathtub playing Taylor Swift.
Hey, that's a way to go out there.
Oh yeah. So Brutish, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Rebels probably had a good player to start off, holding at that stone wall of the court. But I think it just fell apart when that CSA left fell so quickly, and they just kind of took the field of battle and just squeezed them in. And then I think those the strung out charges is what really killed them too. It'll be interesting to see how many skirmishing out of lines they have.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in total agreement on that. I think the CSA plan was a good one for the way Piper used to be played, but unfortunately these days the USA almost exclusively go on that right side because it's an easier push advance for them. So didn't quite work for what they were doing, but well played by the Union overall. Dead even on casualties. CSA did take some extra skirmishing and out of line. We will see you in a moment for map 2, which is going to be Cook's countercharge. And we are back here for the second map. We do have the team still playing on the same side. We have the same Union players, the same CSA players. However, the Union are now defending Cook's countercharge, which is a very tough defensive map for the Union. This is one of my favorite maps in the game. I think if you win it as Union, it's one of the most, I would say anyway, one of the most skill-based wins as Union because it is such an open field. The only way you're going to win it is by straight outfighting your opponent. You know, there's not a lot of tricks and tactics you can use. Obviously, in the past, we saw a lot of people running back to the graveyard and sitting back in there to try and survive. But these days, that seems to have kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. It doesn't seem to be as much of a strategy anymore. And we tend to see what we're seeing now more often, which is the Union holding up on the front fence lines to start the game, which I love. It's using the terrain that you have, which is pretty good terrain on the whole.
Yeah, I really think the only way to win this map is to play it slightly aggressive with defenders. You don't really want to put yourself in a lot of charges as defenders on this map because of the ticket imbalance, but I think pulling back to the graveyard, like you said, is really an old strategy that doesn't really work anymore. I think the best way to win this map is to do exactly what they're doing. Play a little aggressive, and if you start going down on tickets, you can fall back a little bit and use the defilades behind point as force more cover. Especially the hay bales too.
And holding on this left side where we're seeing these first shots come off, sorry, the Union right, CSA left, where we're seeing these first shots coming off from right now, I think is the place to be really, because you have those fence lines defending you, you have some defilade cover, the CSA doesn't have visual on you through those bushes, so they do have to move up on you, so I think this is the best place to hold. The left side is often where we see, the Union left, is often where we see the majority of fighting, because it's easy for the CSA to advance on this side, but I actually almost am in favor usually of the Union abandoning this side and holding strictly on that right side road, on the northwest road, and using the defilade and fence lines there to hold the CSA at bay. Of course, you do have to keep your escape routes open because you don't want to, as Brutish said, end up in a charge.
Well, look at this. We got A and V moved all the way up in the corner, kind of shooting into the side of this rebel push. It's a little far shots, but still into the side nonetheless. And then you have IVB kind of just chilling on the rocks on this left, which I feel like they could honestly just kind of move into the caissons at this point if they really wanted to.
Yeah, very interesting stuff here. What I'm especially interested in is who this Rambo is running out in the middle. It's Killer himself, of course. I guess just trying to get a better look at things. He is, I think, still in bounds. You can get very far up as Union on this map. And
he's in a pretty good defilade too.
Yeah, and I've always I've almost kind of always been in favor of, if you're in the late game and you can get a wipe on the CSA and push up into this defilade here in the middle in front of the CSA spawn and really hold them at bay, that's a great way to waste the CSA's time because you're stopping them so early. We are seeing here CSA weirdly slow about going on the offensive here. Usually we would have seen them start to move out by now, but they seem content to shoot it out from range. I'm not complaining too much because I love watching line battle style stuff. It looks great, but in terms of effectiveness, they're not going to be getting the volume of kills they need to bring down the Union tickets here, especially with the Union all in line.
Well, and Union also has that fence line that's pretty decent cover, so even if they hit them square on, they might have their mini ball blocked by the fence post.
Yeah, and not just the fence line, there's also defilade behind there, and also they can move behind those bushes unseen.
If I'm Union here, I would just get hyper aggressive on this left. If they're going to give it to me, I would just take it. To be honest.
Yeah, I think IVB should be moving off that hill at this. Or it's IVB and
AV.
one 6th LA guy over here as well. But IVB up on this hill here, I don't think they're doing much right now. Like they're shooting from such long range. In fairness, everyone's shooting from long range. But I would be using this time to shift over to the right to reinforce so that when the CSA does inevitably push that side, they have their full line waiting for them.
I feel like AMV and IVB together can you reach where FSB is right now as you do?
FSB, are they the ones back in the step lane? No, you can't reach that. That's the
Can I
CSA
reach it?
spawn. You can reach more or less to the nipple on Dunker Church here.
Okay. And FSB is now moving to the left. See what they're going to do.
Here we go. MB, all these guys in the defilade starting to move out further off to the flank. They're going up and over the snake fence. We'll see if IVB moves over. The Union should see him coming here. We know that they get up pretty quickly from this position. So if they're going to be supported, they need to move now.
IVB's moving straight up through the middle of the field, and AMB's moving straight up through the middle as well. Seems like they're going to try to pincer them from the left.
What they need to be careful of here, though, is that they haven't already lost their position in front of the CSA force by the time they get over, because it's taken them a while to get over there right now. And the entire CSA force is going this way, and they are facing only half the Union.
You normally don't see this full left push like this.
Well, you normally don't see it in this way, certainly, with Union having them flanked on their flank right here. This is a very weird thing. As the Union, though, they got to start pulling off of this position. They do not want to be in this kind of close range firefight here. They're going to get really down on tickets very quickly in this kind of fight.
Well, like you said, though, if you just outfight your opponent and outkill them, you'll be ahead on tickets, which I don't think is happening here because only half the Union's here.
Yeah, and the problem is, the ticket drain accelerates at the end of charges if you're on the losing side.
Well, let's see. IVB's just getting into the CSA, who's up and over, hitting them in the back.
I mean, even so, though, look at the Union tickets here. They can't afford that kind of action.
Close quarters fight now over the street, over this road.
Shoot him out of here. Shoot him out of here.
This isn't decisive enough for Union. This is too even of a fight right now.
They can't keep sitting here. You can see the ticket drain is evening out. They're not losing tickets significantly faster, but they're already down. So losing tickets is not good for them right now. And actually, they are losing tickets a little faster. And there's Union Rambos crossing the road alone who are going to get killed out of line.
Let's see. It's HD's running down the road.
Union is pulling out.
Yep.
They're going to lose more guys on the way out. They're going to be engaged by the time they actually escape this.
Fucking Rambos are gonna lose.
Keep shooting him, boys. Keep shooting him.
Stay in your
Shoot the
fucking
rest
line,
of them.
Union.
Then you got enough people left.
We missed
You
those
heard
shots.
it,
It's gonna
boys.
suck.
Come in those bushes.
Kill that Rambo on the right. He's reloading over there. 3 kills. Thank
Fucking
you.
dog shit.
I'm in skirmishing.
I tell you, Major Yeet from the 18th. Is MS Mississippi or Missouri?
Kill that Rambo.
I think Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah. Yeet from the 18th Mississippi making his feelings very known about how the Union was playing that charge there.
Yeah, let's see how Union responds. They have given up the right side. Let's see how they readjust.
Union, I would expect to see take up. Yeah, they're going to take up these usual positions along the defilades near the rear road here. Taking some positions on the straight fence, some positions in the center defilade. This is kind of this now, despite the interesting start that was very different. This now is turning into what I would describe as a kind of typical game of Cooks. With the CSA having a very strong presence up on the northwest side, the Union pulling back into central defilades, and now it's going to be how aggressive do the CSA want to get, and will they start splitting to try and flank them, or will they just come up this left side? And what we see often is they come up this left side, take the corner of the road, and just start blasting into those defilades.
Well, to be honest, if you're Union here, you're not too bad off at a spot either. I mean, you're
Half a
still
morale
in battle
stage
ready.
is tough, though.
It is tough, but it's not impossible.
And they've done a good job here of slowing it down. If they can slow it down for 5 more minutes, the ideal is, in theory, if you go down to engaged at 30 minutes left, that means you'll go to taking losses at 15 minutes, which means you'll go breaking at 0. So being engaged at 30 minutes is not the worst thing ever. The issue is if they go engaged right around now, which I think they're probably going to because they're right on the brink of it, they're 5 minutes ahead of schedule, so they'll be breaking before the end, even if it's just this kind of fighting continuing.
Well, let's also see if CSA goes for an early cap.
CSA pushing round now towards the center, taking a big volley from the Union. The Union only getting a couple kills, though. It's very hard to hit a laterally moving target like that.
And honestly, if I'm Union here, if they want to go for an early cap, I'll just let them have it. That would be perfect.
Well, you know, I would have said that once upon a time, but, you know, the thing with it now is what tends to happen is the CSA will early cap, they'll fight for long enough that both sides are engaged, they'll give up the cap, and then they'll go immediately recap it again and just keep going like that until both sides are breaking, and then they can afford to take their time.
All right, we got Corbett leading the 6 LA here, about to volley onto this Union force to the right.
Yeah, more of an independent fire than a volley there. They did take some decent shots from whoever that force was. I think it was HD with actually a couple of 6th LA guys over here as well.
To be honest, I'm shocked Union hasn't engaged here yet.
Yeah. I mean, the pace of fighting has slowed down. Now we're in this kind of long-range fight again. This favors the Union in terms of slowing down the ticket drop.
I'm not mean.
He's just truthful.
Waiting here for the CSA to peek over that ridge. This is good. They should be pre-aiming that ridge for sure, waiting for the CSA to peek and then blasting it.
Just take a moment to appreciate this game. This game is just great. Looks great. Merge is great. Shout out to Campfire Games.
Does look like the CSA has decided not. There they go, engaged.
Yep,
has
there it
decided
is.
not to shoot at the far right group and instead trading shots with the central defilade. And that, I would say, is what the Union wants to happen, because in the central defilade, well, IVB not using it correctly, IVB just standing on the top of it right now, and they are taking casualties. I see 7 bodies on the ground here, 8 bodies, so they are losing casualties there. But if the IVB starts retreating and using cresting volleys, as they should be in this defilade, they're not going to lose a ton of casualties here. The issue is they're moving right across the top of the ridge line right now into what is still a very large CSA force on the right side.
See, they go to the volley, this group on the right. I really hope that wasn't a volley.
Yeah, they're not going to get a whole bunch of kills here. They did drop a flag, either that or the group on the crossroads dropped a flag. I'm not sure, but you know, it's at range shooting through 2 fences. That's a pretty tricky shot.
Oh yeah, very difficult.
Union, I would say, is perhaps slightly catching up on tickets here, just very slightly.
I mean, you're going to be 30 minutes at the top of the game, so it's not terrible.
No. The CSA, I would say, are being a tad under-aggressive here. They're playing this cautiously. They're playing it not in a bad way. You know, they're ensuring that they don't go down on tickets super fast either, because likewise, they don't want to go final push and get into a time crunch. But they're certainly not doing anything too risky here.
All right, we have another CSA group moving up to the middle to that bush right in front of IVB. Let's see who is
Oh
this?
yeah. I don't know if IVB does not see them coming right now, I don't think.
Yeah, that's 58 with Star leading them.
Oh, maybe they do. They are aiming, but they're aiming for the far right. They're going to get jumped by that group in the bush there, and they've all just shot. They're going to be reloading as they come up.
Oh.
If they come up.
Goes.
No, they've stopped in the bushes. 5th VA, I don't think realized that IVB have just shot. If they ran up now, they would be able to hammer them in the open with while reloading. And I gotta say, IVB, I don't understand why they are insisting on standing on top of the ridgeline, because look at their casualty rate. I mean, half of their line has died there in the last 2 minutes, and you can see the effect on their tickets. They are dying more than anyone else right now.
I still don't know if they know how big of a force is behind that bush right in front of them. I think Sevy's trying to figure it out. But you can barely see him through this bush.
It's not a particularly big force. It's about 10 guys, which if IVB hadn't have lost all those guys, they would easily be able to handle with a volley or two. But you know, right now they are extremely weak at IVB. Yeah, IVB should have 28 guys. There's certainly not 28 guys alive there right now. CSA is close to engaged here. Probably another minute or so of fighting and they go down to engaged.
I mean, you just caught up. I would say this game's at a pretty even pace right now. Definitely it being 20 minutes and being only a quarter down engaged. It's not too terrible.
No,
Not
I
ideal, but not terrible.
agree 100%. It's not the worst ever, and I think it's coming from the CSA seeming to want to engage in this really long range firefight. And like I remember probably a year and a half ago we did a line battle on Cook's countercharge, and what we found was over the course of an entire game with 200 player teams, there were like 200 casualties in the whole game. The casualty rate is just spectacularly low with this kind of long-range fighting, which favors the defenders.
Star did just rise and try to volley IBB, and they got shredded, to be honest.
Yeah, I missed that one, unfortunately. There goes CSA. It's now about a quarter of a morale stage difference rather than a full half. And what they're doing a good job of here is wasting time. IVB moving up onto the ridgeline again. They're going to take a volley at the right side here, I think.
Yep.
Did see a couple bodies go down there on the right side of that tree.
And
so
they
not
just
bad.
stand and load in the open.
Yeah, I don't necessarily understand this. It's like you know that you have less cover than the unit on your right. The unit on your right can get away with it because they're tucked into a fence line, but you guys are standing on top of a ridge line silhouetting against the horizon. And again, we're seeing the same thing. Even though they're at long range, they are going to lose men doing that, and you can see 3 or 4 of them go down just in the time that it takes to reload. Another couple, because 5th VA has now moved into the bush.
Yeah, now they're charging Prophetic Cat, which
is going to put them in a very compromised position here, I think. They do have their loads, though. They're going to get a good volley into the 5th. 5th gets away unscathed. No one died from the 5th there. For a second there's a Sergeant Major Crazy on 5th VA. For a second, I thought that said Creasy, and I was like, he's joined a unit?
they won War of Rights.
Oh, look at these tickets that IVB are losing. These shots from their right, as much as they're long range, they are losing men, and they are now taking fire from the left as well. Both groups are firing on IVB here. And I just think they need to be tucking down into the death lane and acknowledging you're the defenders. You can't just stand here and trade.
Like, if they would take 10 steps backwards, they wouldn't be able to get hit.
Down goes their flag. I'm seeing guys die every second right now in IVB. Another guy goes down. They are getting shredded.
Right here, bro. Get closer to the death.
Yeah, now they're pulling back a little bit more.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, still, you're just wasting time. We're at 25 minutes, and you're only halfway through a gauge. That's a lot better than the last map.
Yeah, it's not terrible by any means, but again, they did lose. They caught up a little bit on tickets. They just went back almost to half of morale stage down again with those few minutes of fighting. They really could have done with getting a good, accurate volley into the 5th VA there to drop the CSA tickets a little bit.
The only problem I see with this union setup right now is that they are a little strung out. You have this.
Yeah,
you have this
I think though
right.
the thing with Cooks is it's a fairly long run forwards from any of the CSA positions, and the lateral move is not any longer than that. So I think you can shift to meet it without too much trouble. And besides which, the CSA don't seem remotely willing to get aggressive. I think the CSA's best move here is moving all the way up this northwest side and kicking out the HD skirmishers over here and taking control of the crossroads, and then they have the Union completely in a box, and they have control of the Union spawn as well.
Yeah, just spawn go.
5th VA moving back into their bushes again. They can't quite see the IVB there. The IVB are on the other side of a rise. They can see their flag, certainly.
Cover.
Just creeping forwards. We'll see if the IVB recognizes that they're there.
Who's standing up?
Back here. Let's go. Back.
IVB just volleyed. Here they go. IVB just volleyed. They got to go forwards now. Does Star realize? I don't think Star realizes. They're reloading. Here they go. Here they go.
Yeah, he's pulling them up. Easy shots right here for them. IVB's loaded. They're about to volley.
Just took too long there from 5th VA, and they actually ended up shooting to the group on the right instead of at the IVB.
Yeah, they shot HD instead of IVB.
Guess there's no love lost between those groups.
I couldn't hear you.
And you know, they could have been there, shot, and gotten back to their bushes before the IVB even reloaded if they were just a little bit quicker about that. You know, and again, we've talked a little bit about sort of the traditional tactics here. Traditionally, in this kind of game, the CSA would have just moved a large group into the capture bush, waited for the IVB to make that counter-attack on it, and then immediately just slammed the counter-attacking force and held this central defilade on the point and forced the Union to come out and fight. But instead, like, I do think they're letting the Union get away with this a little bit. Here they go. The left side push is finally materializing.
HC's already pulling back though. They recognize. So
they do get out of there. IVB is moving right to meet them, which I think is a mistake. They do not have the manpower to meet that force. They're going to maybe volley and pull.
I think they're just going to volley into the side, and get a few kills, but nothing.
Yeah, they were kind of shooting at the back end of that charge rather than on the main section of it. And
now they're going to get volleyed to the side.
They're going to take a huge amount of shots here. And this is the position that I've been saying I think the CSA should be taking, because look at this, the CSA also firing into those skirmishers on the fence line here, and they now control the Union spawn. Union basically can't spawn main anymore without being shot at.
Yeah, if you have to like these guys on the right, or at least make them fall back. You can't.
Union jumping the fence, IVB jumping the fence and getting shot as they're doing it. This is a really painful place for them to be right now. They're being told to stay in the road, and they are taking heavy losses doing so.
I'd like to say that in person chat.
Why the road? Yeah, rocks. And they're getting flanked by 5th VA now. 5th VA is moving to the straight road.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering if the 5th VA would go on their flank. You would hope the HD guys would fire into the 5th unit before they get volleyed, but the 5th actually are going to fire at the HD guys, not at IVB, I think.
They dropped a couple HD guys.
Yeah, I see a big hole in that line, and this is what they needed. They are now pushing down the USA tickets. Look at these skirmishing tactics from the FSB here. You rarely see a unit really trying to skirmish properly, standing in open order, crouching and firing at the HD skirmishers. It's probably not the best for this game, but I do love to see it. And the HD guys are crouching in return, which, I don't know, I'm less sure about it for them. They do have, at least they're behind a snake fence doing it. But on the flip side, their tickets are worth a lot more right now.
I do love this little skirmish formation. This is just very satisfying to look at.
And, you know, I've said it before on a BLN video. I came up through a skirmishing company of the 9th New York, and this is the kind of shit we used to practice.
Pratly, charge on the right. You need CSA right. They're charging the hay bales.
Oh yeah, 6th LA finally move out for them. They have caught a force. They did catch the HD. They are going to get wiped. I don't know who that's more costly for right now, though. Yeah, Killer comes in to clear off the last of them. No one makes it out.
I see if that flag gets out.
No, it's running towards the enemy there. That definitely caught them up a little bit. They do manage to just barely stay engaged, but I can't see that remaining so for long.
But hey, we're 20 minutes and they're still engaged. That's pretty ideal.
I mean, they are still technically on pace to be breaking by the end of the game, but maybe not last stand unless the CSA gets a little more aggressive. The issue here, I think there are a ton of infantry guys who have not realized you cannot spawn on main right now. There are a whole bunch of infantry guys spawning main for Union who are getting shot at as they spawn. None of them have really died yet, so they've at least realized enough that they got to get out of there in a hurry, but I could see this being a problem if they lose any flags at any point. 5th VA continues to be a nuisance firing into this defilade. Yep, that volley took them down to taking losses. They did lose some guys themselves. I would say the Union again seems to be catching up tickets, which they seem to be doing at the end of each morale stage. It seems to me that the CSA basically are playing fairly slow, and then as the Union gets close to the end of the morale stage, they make an aggressive move each time.
Well, these skirmishers on the right outside of Union spawn, are not in a terrible spot. They have pretty good cover with the snake rail, and they can. It seems like they're in peaks and valleys, so.
And you know these
pretty spread out as
CSA
well.
skirmishers actually have some decent cover as well. I'm gonna go look from the Union point of view, but they are behind a little bit of a defilade, and I don't know how much the Union can see of them.
Definitely not an easy shot for either side.
No, they can basically just see the heads of those skirmishers. The rest of the CSA force is pulling back, which is very interesting to me. Looks like they're going to reassume original positions, and the skirmishers now going as well. I would have kept that chokehold going here, but obviously they thought that maybe they can. I think maybe they're trying to bring the Union back out into more open positions again.
Well, if you go look at that position, there's a lot of CSA dead bodies up here. I think they were taking a lot more casualties than they wanted to up there.
Look at AMV. They've pushed far forwards back onto the initial starting hill again.
Oh, look at that. I think that's a very good spot. I think if they moved up slightly more, they could get shots at the back of 5th VA up here.
If they can stay relatively quiet, yeah, they might be able to get flanking fire into these guys in the center. I don't know if Star knows that they're there. It looks like he's deploying his men in such a way to avoid them. Oh yeah, they see
he
them.
knows they're there. Yeah. But see, IBB can move up now at this point and kind of squeeze in 5th VA and kind of force them out of that bush.
Yeah. IVB is starting to move. They're not going all the way up.
I mean, 5th VA has been a nuisance this entire game. If they could force them out of this bush and get them with the rest of the CSA team on the right, they could have better positions and better shots and not have to worry about getting close range shot at with volleyed.
CSA is starting to move up on the left side again, on their left.
Come reconnaissance. Wait, what about the boys to the left? Far left.
Sevi left. Sevi, is that friendly?
That's friendly.
IVB guys discussing what they're going to shoot at here. A bunch of them just called out the AMV. Sevi luckily does seem to realize that it's friendly and they're not going to volley their own men there.
Ito, please get the fucking line.
Dude,
you're not.
They would just shoot through that bush.
Or a fifth.
Dude, I could.
You should 3D print a stick.
Yeah, that first sprue was looking pretty serious. That's a lot of pieces.
And look at the CSA tickets here. I'm not sure where they're losing them exactly. Maybe it was those 5th VA guys who I think were in skirmishing at the start of that
I
engagement.
think it's this right side, Bradley. I think these HC guys on the right, these skirmishers are just solidly dropping these guys on the right and forcing them to fall back. Like, look at this. There's a lot of dead CSA bodies up here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of those are from earlier and how many are fresh. It doesn't seem like the CSA is exchanging a lot of shots with them. They do have the FSB trading fire with them. They just knocked the flag over here, actually. But yeah, the Union definitely has a better position than them on these snake fences. And this is one of the rare times.
Like,
yeah, it might be. Or they might not be picking it up because they're standing right next to spawn. Why bother with the flag?
Yeah, that's true.
But this is one of those rare times I actually think these guys are doing the right thing by crouching here. They're fully covered by the snake fence. The enemy's shooting from a way off.
charging AAV on the left.
Oh, heading over that way now. Yeah, this could be bad for tickets for the AMV. AMV retreating back into the cornfield. They might just try and give them the slip in the corn. I don't think they're going to be able to, though. It's the 6th LA, actually, not the 5th VA.
Oh, my bad. Shout out to Cordit.
And they get shot in the back by IVB and HD there. There was a good volley that kind of took down a few of them there. Look at these tickets. They're evening out with 15 minutes to go, top of taking losses. This is not a bad spot to be for Union. They're doing okay.
The entire CSA team just redeployed as well. They're moving out to the left.
Yeah, I would imagine they're probably going to try and sweep this cornfield and kill AMV. If they can wipe AMV in here, that's going to be very costly for the Union. I mean, they have to know that they're still in there, so you would think they'd send someone to go get them rather than letting them stay there at their rear.
Well, they just about been found by Rambo, so I think they know where they are now.
Coming to you guys are fucked in this corner.
Oh, are you talking smack, mate? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?
And the Rambo over here is talking trash to the AMV guys who are now moving out again.
This CSA regiment has just turned around at the wrong time. If AV pops out, this would be the perfect opportunity for him.
Yeah, they're going to kill this Rambo running back from spawn at least. Ghost. And look at that, those Rambo kills immediately get him down to taking losses. We are now almost back to even on tickets. The AMV are picking up some kills here, but the CSA are coming back into the corn. I don't think they know. They're running. I don't think they're going to get out. Some of them are going to get caught. Those are all skirmishing and out of line kills. Yeesh. That was not good for the Union tickets for sure. But they, I think, are going to escape here with the rest of the men.
Of them got out.
Wow, now it's interesting. I mean, I think the CSA needs to start getting a little more aggressive because at this rate, they are going to get them to breaking, but they're not going to get them to last stand, which means it's going to be a slugfest on point. And I don't know who wins that.
Well, I think Union has a slightly shorter run time for spawn to point.
It's very slight, though. I mean, the problem with the runtime on a map this large is that if you lose the charge, you're not going to get a chance to get back in anyway. AMV get caught by a few more Rambos over there from the looks of it. They are picking up some Rambo kills.
Those are out of line tickets, though.
But
they're about to get they're getting flanked though.
Yeah, that's the last of the AMV, I'm afraid, and those are all out of lines. That is, you can see the impact it's having on the AMV tickets here, on the Union tickets. They are dropping slowly but steadily with each of those kills. They are wiped off that position. They did a nice job up there, but I think maybe just got a little greedy in the end. Few of them did make it out, but not many by any means.
Yeah, I blame Killer for that.
The HD guys have now moved out of their snake fences and they're exchanging from the crossroads again. Definitely still a better position for them. They've got two straight fences between them and the enemy. The enemy is in the open field just using defilade for themselves.
Everyone's dead. Cover that.
Okay, everyone.
Hey, break your reloads.
Everyone, form up on me. Everyone, form up on me.
Why you break your loads?
Form up on me.
I'm like a magnet.
I wonder what's compelling CSA to just sit back and play this slow. I mean, at this point, you're starting to run out of time slightly. Like, you don't have to rush it at any time soon. But I mean, 12 minutes.
It seems like they want to kind of, I don't know, have their cake a little bit in terms of just being like, well, we don't even need to charge. The Union will go down to breaking because their tickets are low on this map, and then we'll just go cap the point. It's like, well, just having them at breaking is not enough that you can just go stroll onto the point and win. You do have to have them lower than that if you want to really do that. The one thing I would say, though, is as the Union approach breaking, if the CSA are smart, what they'll do is start pre-capping it, and the Union will be forced to come out and charge them out, because if they don't and they're very close to breaking, you never know when you just go down once and for all and lose it. There's actually, Killer is still up here with a couple of his officers in the corn.
Yeah, I've been watching this. It's very entertaining. I don't know if they know that they could easily get. I think of that.
And IVB again are loading up at the top of the defilade, and again they're getting fucking shredded. I just don't understand why they're doing this. I mean, I get it. Like, they have a line that's big enough that they can take this kind of punishment, but the tickets can't take this punishment.
And we got CSA moving up on the Union right down the road. It's FSB. See what they do here.
We're gonna have to charge him, but we're gonna have to die every time we get away, you know what I mean?
Look at that. Look at that drop in Union tickets there. Or not even tickets necessarily. The tickets did go down as well, for sure. But look at the drop of bodies of the IVB. Each time they're getting volleyed, they're losing a ton of guys. Just step back 10 paces and you're in the defilade.
All right, FSB has moved back up into the intersection of the road. They're about to take some shots down the road.
Ooh, there's guys coming up from main spawn. Ah, it's the HD sharpshooters back in their original position. We're back on kind of position B, I guess this is.
That entire line, they killed only 2 guys with that volley.
And
down the
FSB
road.
is going to get shot all the way
Yeah.
back towards their own lines.
And look at the time, 10 minutes. It's getting real close.
You got to remember, though, this map, it's very easy for things to snowball quickly for the Union. Because, like I said, if the CSA starts pre-capping and it gets really low and they're about to hit breaking, the Union will have to push them off, at which point they'll start going through breaking because the CSA will just sit there and volley them as they do it.
HD has...
And you could very easily go to last stand. They might be considering playing that strat here of pulling all the way back and seeing how long they can survive for. But I don't think they are. I think they're just using this position to fire at the right flank from better cover rather than getting shot down that side again. IVB continuing to stand there. Look at the gaps in their line that are emerging.
Yeah, beer can.
Another wave of shots hit. More men go down. IVB under half strength now.
FSB's getting a little bit more aggressive on this unit, right? Getting a little closer.
IVB loses another 3 or 4 guys. This is, yep, finally Sevi pulls them off. But, I mean, I'm just looking right now at a fucking pile of bodies from the IVB here. And it's like, you're defending and you just lost half a morale state standing there, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and it took a while. You know,
cover right behind you.
We do have to say, it took a while. And they do need to be playing for time right now. But could they be playing for time without losing quite so many tickets? I think so. They have now pulled to long range. CSA probably will not go start pre-capping yet. They'll probably want to get some more kills on it before they do it. But they're not a million miles off. You know, you could say holding for 8 minutes on here. It's a long run from CSA spawn for sure. It's probably a 2-minute reset on a charge. Something like that. Minute and a half, 2 minutes.
We gotta move it up the center, see if they're gonna start pre-capping, baby. No, they're just going up the volley.
Oh, we're getting good shots.
And Corded here is noticing every time they're volleying, the Union tickets are going down, which is exactly what I'm noticing as well. They are shooting lethally from this right flank right now. Here goes Sikdale again.
Right here, take aim.
They're aiming in the center. Let's see how many guys drop here. Few guys. Yeah, they killed the flag there. It's enough. I mean, they're not far off having the Union down to breaking. I actually almost wonder if the group on the CSA left on this northwest side end up pushing in to try and just take the Union tickets down once and for all. They're continuing to kind of just crest and shoot. They are getting shredded every time they crest right now.
No, volley go there.
I'll maneuver on them.
This is sort of a tricky spot for both teams. It's very much in the CSA's court right now. If they get the Union down, I think the CSA should be starting to pre-cap at this stage. I don't see why not. Just having the cap. Yep, they are moving onto it now.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Having the cap part way done, the second Union hits breaking, they take it, and that puts Union in a position where they have to make a decision whether they're going to charge it off and admit and acknowledge that they're going to go breaking doing so, or whether they want to gamble.
Make a decision quick.
They may try and gamble, but I think, yeah, Sikdale is going to go charge right into the jaws of the Union.
Yeah, and then we got who's moving in?
Oh no! This is going to be it.
This is the game. Whoever wins this charge wins.
No, not even. The CSA is going to cap one way or another at this point. Union goes breaking, that's it. Unless Union gets on. They do get on. I don't know that there's enough of them. 6 minutes here. They probably have to hold 4 charges. But they will lose a lot of tickets in this melee. Both teams just crowding into point now.
Lot of
Look at this
chaos on
right,
this side.
the right side. Yeah, chaos. Both lines running parallel to each other. CSA starting to cap again.
Charge out.
These Union guys on the left flank need to start pushing into the right flank now, because the right flank is falling. They're going to lose that right side of point.
Yep.
I don't know if they're capping from where they are either. They must be, otherwise they'd be moving out.
All right, here's the counter charge.
I don't know that it's enough. I
Nope,
don't think it's
nope.
going to be enough.
It's not.
They might slow it down a little bit, but they have to kill the CSA off the point. That's going to be it.
Yep, that's good.
All right, well, we end up with a 1-1 tonight. Pretty well played by both attacking teams. Very different in terms of the way that they went down, and I'm getting some odd cinematics here of the winning screen, all ultra close up. Brutish, what do you think of the second map there?
I think both teams play that really well. Union, the only thing you could have done differently there, or just try to use the death lanes more and take less casualties. But I think the CSA play that really, really well. Especially those guys on the Union left flank. They were deadly accurate with those shots.
Yeah, I would agree. I thought both teams did a nice job. I'm surprised that they managed to get the tickets down so much with long-range shooting for 90% of the game. And then the flurries of activity they were very telling in the CSA's favor, unfortunately, for the Union defenders. The Union did a nice job. They slowed the clock down as much as they could. Not getting down to breaking until 6 minutes is not bad on this map at all. But they didn't quite nail their counter-attack on point, and I think they needed to go a little bit earlier on that if they wanted to take it. But very well played from both sides, and for once we actually see Union out-killing CSA on Cook's counter-charge. I feel like we often see it the other way around because the Union are counter-attacking the whole time.
Yeah, I think that was just a fantastic map of Cooks, I think. That was just very fun to watch.
Yeah, 100%. All right, thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next, probably for the Battleline Network Wednesday event. Oh, actually, no, this is a week off, so it's going to be Thanksgiving week off. For those of you who celebrate, happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next time.